I just picked her up. She's absolutely fan-frickin-tastic. I cannot contain my excitement. This was a catch. This was a miracle lining up, and I cannot wait to tell you the story. Yay! Surprise! I bought, well, I call it a truck. It's technically an SUV on a truck base, I believe. Might be making that up. Who knows? But I bought it, and it's mine, and this marks the beginning of a new adventure chapter for me. So I've been interested in road life, overlanding, adventure rigs, car camping, etc. for a while now, and I've been considering purchasing my own vehicle to turn into an adventure rig for over a year. Essentially since I went on that van life trip to Moab. I fell in love with the lifestyle. I know it was only a few days, but it just spoke to me, and over the course of the past year and so, over all of my adventures, what I found that I enjoy the most is being on the road and hiking. And as much as I love a really lovely hotel, I actually enjoy camping a lot more than I had ever known I would. I just didn't have a lot of experience with it. I had nothing against it personally, just, experience. And then I've had some experiences of all different ranges. I tried the van life where I rented the van, which was great. I tried car camping in my minivan, which was fun. I've done tent camping, I've done backpacking, and what I've really found that I enjoy most is having the opportunity to camp and be out in nature, but also having a space where I can go inside if I want to. So it doesn't have to be a house, doesn't have to be a cabin, but I love being able to decide if I want to pitch a tent outside, or if it's like inclement weather, it's really rainy, it's windy, what have you, I have the option to go inside as well. And I don't need a whole lot of space. A van is a beautiful thing, and I'm not ruling that out as an option for me someday, but for right now, that just doesn't make sense on many different levels. Logistically, financially, it's a real commitment. Whereas making my own adventure rig out of a car, essentially, this is an SUV, that is really versatile, because it is essentially a car, which means I can use it as a car if I don't like the adventure rig lifestyle, or I can sell it. And the kind of truck that I bought in particular has extremely high resale value, especially in this market. So I'm going to walk you through a little bit of why I bought a 4Runner, why I have been kind of ogling this car for so long and decided to go with this as the thing to try out, and kind of the whole process of buying it. So I'll just take you through the car itself. I brought my official paperwork because to be honest, I think I've probably watched upwards of 100 videos. I'm assuming probably at least that, about 4Runner specifically. And I still have not retained any of the mechanical information. It's just, my mind isn't wired that way, so it's hard for me to keep in my mind just from watching things, but also I tend to learn through experience best. So I know as I spend more time getting to know this truck and getting to know the ins and outs of it, especially on the road for long haul, then I will probably learn more about mechanical aspects of it. But I brought the spec sheet just to tell you this is a 2022 brand new 4Runner TRD off-road premium. I really wanted the off-road premium if I could find it. And the reason is because it has all of the bells and whistles of the TRD Pro with overlanding and that kind of adventure driving in mind. So it has the rear locking differential. It has the crawl control and all of the things that can get you out of a pickle if you're in a pickle. Off-road, but it's not quite as expensive as the TRD Pro. The TRD Pro is great. It's just kind of like the top of the line, so it has the really schmancy sound system, and like highest package trim level, like of the interior and exterior and stuff. It has like a roof rack, and I wanted all the functions in the event that I do off-road with it, and that can help me drive safely and navigate well through a variety of road conditions and off-road conditions, rocks, sand, gravel, ice, you name it. But I didn't need to spend another 10 grand, on top of what I was already spending. So that's why I went with this. So this is a 4x4, 4.0 liter V6 engine with 5-speed automatic transmission. Essentially, it's a beast. And I love it. I love it so much. The vehicle that I lucked out to call my own also came with some extra packages. So we have the moonroof, which I love. The premium package. So off-road premium. The premium gives you the soft tech seats and the multi-terrain monitor. That's a really cool feature where it has cameras, not only a rear camera and a front end camera that gives you I think they call it like a bird's eye view when you're parking, which I find very helpful. But it also has cameras underneath each of the side view mirrors that can help you, especially in off-road situations or, difficult road situations where you're driving. It'd be really helpful to be able to see the ground, like right where you're driving, but you can't have your head all the way out the window and steer and look where you're going properly. This is a really cool feature of that. It came with the all-weather floor liners and the cargo tray, which I'm probably going to remove, but we'll talk about that in a minute. And the TRD black wheel package, which has the black Pro wheels, the black chrome lug nuts, and the black PVD wheel walks, which look really nice if I don't say so myself. I have not looked into exactly what wheels these are. I might end up switching them out to an all-terrain model. I'm not entirely sure if this is an all-terrain model, so I guess we'll find out. And then it also has what they call the Predator tube step, and so those are the 4 steps flanking the passenger and driver doors, which is helpful if you want to, access the roof. You have a step up, or if you just want to haul yourself up into the truck. I honestly might replace those. I've heard that they can catch on things, especially if you're off-road. I might replace those with a lower profile one that doesn't jut out as much, and just a running board that goes all the way down each side of the car. But yeah, I'll just, the engine, 4.0 liter, DOHC 24 valve V6 with dual independent variable valve timing with intelligence. If that means anything to anybody. Transmission 5-speed electronically controlled automatic transmission with intelligence and sequential shift mode. Drivetrain, locking mirror differential, talked about that. Off-road multi-terrain select, that's the crawl control and stuff I told you about. Off-road hill start assist control, that's really cool. It can like get itself out of sand and stuff. Suspension, brakes, blah, 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 blah. So this goes on and on and on. It's just got a lot of great features. It's got the LED headlights and fog lights, which are more standard with the 2021 and newer models, and all the other things that you probably don't need to hear. Now the sun is coming up. Let's head to the back and talk a little bit about how I came across this vehicle and my plan for the future. So, now that we're sitting in the back here, I'll tell you a little bit about how I came across this truck. I, like I said, had been thinking about purchasing my own adventure rig to try for a while, and the timing just works out right now. The lease on my minivan, my family car, is up in the end of the fall. So, in terms of logistics in my mind at least, and what makes sense to me is that gives me a few months to give this a go, owning 2 vehicles, having one on the road, and seeing if that works financially, how it works with my life as a stay-at-home mom part-time, as a co-parent. I have my kids part of the time, not all of the time, and when I don't have them, I like to be on the road. But that means that I can't drive back and forth to all places. I'm going to have to find places, safe places to leave the car between trips, and we'll see how that works in terms of logistics and if it makes sense financially. And also just how I feel being on the road. It's part-time road life, right? Because I'm part-time stay-at-home mom, part-time road life. I'm going to try out a part-time road life kind of deal. And to see how that feels, because it's something I've been dreaming about. It's a big dream of mine, and I have the opportunity to actualize it. I want to try it. Life is unpredictable and chaotic, and you got to try the things when the opportunity presents. I can continue on with what I've been doing, which is just flying in and out of places and renting cars and staying at Airbnbs and the occasional camping trip and whatnot. And that's great, and there's nothing against those, and I'm still probably going to do a bunch of those things, but I really, really wanted to give this a go, and it's just the right time because of the lease of my family car being up at the end of November. I feel like that gives me a little, like a solid summer and most of the fall to test out the road life. If at the end of that I want to pack it in, I said, well, I gave it my all. I can bring the car back home and return my other car and have this just be the vehicle, or I can, like I said, sell it and get something else to be just the family car. So I don't know, to me it's just like the perfect window to try this out. So that's my plan. And I really don't have a specific plan outside of that, except that I'm going to start driving the car out west for the summer and then start bringing it back east in the fall. And so I'm closer to home base if that's the decision I want to make, or if I want to continue on with the road life, to head east for the fall and winter months and then down south. So that's my general plan. Have any logistics or specifics been really considered? No. But that's the beauty of road life for me, and also the beauty of what travel looks like for me as a solo wanderer. I don't have to have a huge plan. I can have the basics, like where am I going to drive to, where I'm going to park the car, where do I want to camp. Those things I can decide pretty on the fly, even. As long as I have a home base, which would be this vehicle, to kind of anchor me throughout that, it feels really doable. And even without a home base, I mean, I've been traveling like that for the past year and really enjoying it. So this is just another version of solo travel for me that I'm super excited about. As I mentioned, I was looking at 4Runners for a long time, and then I found this one. It felt so serendipitous. It just, honestly, I don't know if you believe in manifestation, or I don't even know if I do necessarily. I don't not believe in it, but I manifested this vehicle. I don't know how else to say it. It just fell into my lap. It is an extremely tough market for buying a car right now. I feel like it's becoming very tough to sell cars too, because inventory is so low and prices are so high, and all the other extenuating factors with the economy and gas prices and all of that. It's just a tough market all around, but essentially inventory is extremely low, and it's very hard to order a car. A lot of dealerships aren't offering that. I am lucky to live in the Chicago area where there is a lot of Toyota dealerships, and I went to many of them. Many. I can't even remember how many I went to, but it was at least a half a dozen, if not more. And it was just kind of a sad story. They have very little on their lot for 4Runners or any other of the model of vehicles that Toyota stocks. And prices are high. Most dealerships are able to charge $5,000 to upwards of $20,000 over MSRP, which is sticker price, which is bananas. This is not an inexpensive vehicle to begin with, and to slap that kind of upcharge on top of it, but they can because there's so little available. And up until at least this summer, demand has still been there. I feel like demand is waning a bit now. I haven't been following that as much since I bought the vehicle. I've had it for a little while. I've been kind of, getting settled in it and driving it around at home and kind of figuring out what I want to do in terms of if I want to build anything in it or not. We'll get to that later, but yeah, it's a tough market. There's a couple of dealerships in driving distance of me that are committed to selling at MSRP. So generally, when it's not this bananas market, that's not the best deal because you can't negotiate. They don't negotiate. And generally when you're buying a car, you want to negotiate lower than MSRP if possible. Not in this market. In this market, all of the other dealerships I went to were selling $5,000 to $20,000 over sticker, and that's with negotiations. And it's like, whoa. So to find a couple of dealerships that are committed to selling to you at sticker is actually kind of a deal. Originally, I was looking at used cars, but I wanted something with 50,000 miles or less on it just because I'm not the most savvy or at all savvy with mechanics, and I wanted to take it on the road, and I'm traveling by myself. I just wanted something that had less mileage on it. And to be quite frank, the cars that were in decent shape with 50,000 miles or less are more expensive than brand new 4Runners at sticker. More expensive. But I was still looking for that because I thought that was my best bet. It's so hard to, like I said, to find a new car even at sticker is, the icing on the cake. Because what is happening now is the Toyota is, at least in my area, I don't know if this is nationwide, but they are just allocating 4Runners from their factory, and the 4Runners are made in Japan, so they're allocating already spec'd out 4Runners from their factories, and then they allocate them to the different dealerships around the area, and the dealerships get notification of what they're going to be getting, and then it's like a 6 to 8 month journey from there about when the car actually arrives. Once the dealerships are allocated those vehicles, then they can release them for deposit. So essentially, as a buyer, I could put a deposit on a car and then not see it for 6 to 8 months or whatever. But you can't really pick and choose like, oh, I want this color with this, you kind of have to look at the draw. To find one just, by going to a lot and looking is very hard right now. So I had been looking at a lot of used vehicles for that reason, because I just thought best case scenario, I find a new one, a sticker, that's like a unicorn. I'm not going to find that. I had looked at a bunch of dealers, and then I kind of decided to wait for a while because it was just kind of depressing how little there was in the market and how expensive marked up the cars, the 4Runners were. And then I was looking, and I just kept looking online to see what cropped up in terms of new and used. And I found a used, actually a Ventura, I think is the model, a Venture, which is basically an off-road premium that's kitted out a bit, a 2021 at the Toyota in Naperville, which is not super close to me, but it's, it's like a 45-minute drive each way. It's not too far. And when I saw that in their used inventory, I thought, oh, I'll go look at that. And it was selling for more than a brand new off-road premium would be at MSRP. But I kind of figured that was the lay of the land. The price wasn't too far off of that. It had less than 50,000 miles on it. And I was like, I'll go look at that. And so when I was looking at their website, I thought I would just check on what new inventory they had, because I noted that they were a dealership that sold at MSRP. They had maybe 5 or 6 4Runners that were listed as reserved, like they were sale pending, which is basically what I told you about, where the trucks come in, they're allocated from the factory in Japan, and people can put deposits on them once the dealership knows what 4Runners are coming their way. But there was one listed that did not say sale pending. It did not have a deposit on it. And it was just this 4Runner with the TRD off-road premium, which is what's my kind of like ideal trim level, and available. Now, dealership websites are not always completely like accurate, up to date. Depends on the dealership. I found out this dealership is very accurate in their website inventory, but I didn't know that, especially after all of the other dealerships I'd been to where they listed having vehicles they didn't actually have. But so that was like a Sunday night I found it. I was like, well, I'll just call them when they open on Monday morning, because dealerships are closed on Sundays, and see if this is a real vehicle and if it's actually available. I called them first thing. Lo and behold, it was a vehicle somebody had reserved from the allocation point, and they had come in on Saturday, that Saturday, to pick it up, but their financing fell through and they couldn't afford to take it. And I was the first person to call Monday morning about it. And I got it. It just fell right into my lap. It's just meant to be. This was meant to be my vehicle. I really truly believe that. And like I said, this whole plan might be a flop, but I gotta try it. Life is short and it goes by fast. And if you don't try the things when you can, if you can, I can. It's not a financial burden for me to try at this point. I have the time with my schedule, and I have, more than anything, have the desire and the curiosity and the drive, and I'm just so dang excited. So dang excited. And that's the story. That's the story of how I got the 4Runner, why I got the 4Runner. I'm going to take you through the process of, from starting now, of kind of getting familiar with the truck and figuring out how I'm going to spec it out. I don't really want to do anything permanent, for sure, in the event that this is like a trial period, right? For me personally, to see if this is feasible. I want it to be able to keep it to stock so I can resell it if that's what I end up doing. I could resell it right now, today, and make a profit on a brand new vehicle I just bought. It's not nuts. That's nuts, right? It's nuts. But that's the market at the moment. So I don't want to do anything that I can't easily remove. And honestly, I just want to experience I don't want to do anything elaborate. I'm not a carpenter. I've watched so many build out videos of things you can do in these vehicles, and that's all great, and maybe eventually I'll get to that, but I want to do something very simple to just level the back. Probably will build something a little bit to level out the back, because there's a bit of a hump. I might take up the back seats. but they're easy enough to put back in. I haven't quite decided yet. But I'm going to take you along for all of that, and you will come out west with me, and we will do this adventure together, and we'll see how it goes. I feel so blessed and just so excited. I feel like I'm meant to try this. Like I said, is it going to... I don't have any expectations that this is going to be like the perfect thing. I understand that it is just something that I feel very, very called to try. I feel the pull of the road. I do. And what better time or way to try than now or this for me? This just makes sense. I realize it might make 0 sense to pretty much anybody else, but that's not going to stop me. That's not going to stop me from giving it a try. I mean, how often do you actually get to follow a dream through, to see it through? I think you got to grab those opportunities by the horns and go. Just go for it. Take the plunge. If I can encourage any one of you to follow your own dreams, however, whatever shape they take, go for it. And we'll go on this adventure together, and we'll see. And I'll share, honestly about how it goes. And you'll see if I decide to stick with it or if it's not the right thing. But I can't wait to get on the road and give it a go. And I'm just so excited to have this beautiful, beautiful truck to adventure in, at least for a little while. All right, well, here we go. Onward. Onward, friends. Be well, and I will see you real soon. Take care. Bye.